Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everybody who is watching. eh. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Hilmi bin Muhammad Alais Masri, and I am the Vice President for BumiPRO Malaysia. Okay, so today, this is a coffee talk session whereby I will be discussing some of the ideas and perspective relating especially towards our main topic today, which is buying new house or sub-sale houses, a post-pandemic perspective. Okay, so the situation right now, especially after we have gone through several rounds of MCO, so we can see that there is a change between housing markets in Malaysia and all over the world, especially. So the COVID-19 pandemic, starting from early 2020 until late 2021, undoubtedly has affected every market in the world and also includes the property market in Malaysia also. So Hale 2021 states that house prices never declined actually. So there was unsurprisingly flat this year and also last year, and the property market have become really challenging with all the incoming completed projects and subsequently sub-sale houses being thrown into the market. Okay, so in order for us to identify the kind of property or residential properties, or in layman's term, we are going to talk regarding houses. So we need to know the differences between these two houses, which is the first one is what we call the new houses, whereby it's newly completed or in the process of construction, whereby you can put the deposit money and then purchase the house either through financing or even through cash money itself. Okay, so for sub-sale properties, sub-sale properties is these properties that you will be purchasing from an existing owner, whereby it's already been completed and it's already being held by the previous owners. It doesn't matter how long they have held this previous property, but in a sense, sub-sale houses is what we call a secondary market or even the secondary properties. So we need to differentiate them, because the policies being provided by the government, especially in the post-pandemic perspective, differs, whereby there is several policies that is significant towards new properties. And for secondary or sub-sale properties, especially houses, it seems that in the budget for 2022 and in the previous policies by the government is still not available. Eh? So we are going to look at on the post-pandemic offering and what has the government provided initiative for. So the first, the main policy that we are going to talk about is of course the HOC, or the Home Ownership Campaign, whereby the government, the federal government has introduced them starting from the year 2020 to the 31st of May 2021, whereby this has already been extended by the announcement given by the finance minister, whereby from the 1st June 2021 until the 31st of December 2021, home ownership campaign will be extended. So we need to know what is exactly home ownership campaign and what is the eligibility of some of the benefits that we are going to receive. Okay, so the terms and condition of HOC, we can see that the government has emphasized that only residential properties defined as houses, condominium units, apartments and flats, including service apartments and SOHOs, and being used as dwelling with the valid developer's license and advertisement and sale permit or verified by the Ministry of Housing and Local Government and or completed with CCC or CF are eligible to register. So all other property types are not included in this exercise. So based on this, we can see that the emphasis for the federal government is that they wanted people to purchase homes, especially right after pandemic. Even though the current market or even the current job prospect is not very good, with people getting laid off and everything. But the promises given by the government is that um, the property market itself must always be in good hands. Okay, so for service apartments or hosts, they must be for residential use, even though typically this kind of properties is being categorized into commercial properties. So this service apartment and SOHOs cannot be converted for commercial activities, and the price range before discount, the government has stated must be within 300,000 and ringgit to around 2.5 million ringgit, and it must be a sale from a developer to a purchaser of co-purchasers, all of whom are Malaysian citizens. So it shows and it's very clear that sub-sale properties, a normal property owner cannot transfer this kind of benefit of HOC, whereby the main significance of HOC is that the government has given the exemption for stamp duty applicable for the residential units for the SMPs to be executed between the 1st June 2022 until 31st December 2021, whereby a minimum of 10% discount from the property prices applicable to all units, and all the eligible properties in Peninsular Malaysia must be registered with REDA, and for Sabah and Sarawak must be registered with SHEDA. And the stamp duty exemption is applicable in relation to the purchase of residential property by individual Malaysian citizen. So it shows clearly what is the intention of the government. So we can see as a prospective house buyer, so especially for somebody who is trying to purchase a home, and then looking at reductions, they can get a lot of discount, especially with the minimum of 10% discount. The government only states it's just 10%. So if the developer wanted to give more than that, is most very well welcome. So the for the sub-sale, properties, we can see that there is no mention of this, especially for properties that has been held by a proprietor for a long time, or even just newly bought, and then they are trying to offload their properties, the residential properties, but the mention of HOC is not there for them. So the category is just for new residential properties only. Okay, so the question is today that we are going to see. So which one is better? Which one is better? Either you wanted to get a new residential property, or you wanted to purchase a sub-sale property. So in this case, first of all, the HOC is very good. The HOC, the stamp duty exemption is also very good, and then the mandatory discount is very good. But we must look. We must look at what is new house or new residential properties encompassed to. So as we know, for new properties, they provide for higher loan margins, whereby you can get 90%, or even in some cases, the financing can be 100%. So as compared to sub-sale properties, so you can get maybe around maximum of 80 to 90% for loan margins. So for new houses also encompass for newly built up building, fresh, clean slate of neighborhood and the potential for development in the upcoming years. So meaning these new properties, this new residential property, especially they are in a new township, they are in a new residential area, and then you can get or purchase them. So before they have gone through the property market, so as to speak. So meaning that the prices being offered is that the prices at the starting point. So they have not gone through the property market, whereby there is a demand and supply aspect that dictates the type of transaction that will happen in an area. So let's say if we open up a new residential area in Subang Jaya. So the particular area of Subang Jaya might be well maturing, but some of the lands that is being opened up at the further parts of Subang Jaya. So that particular area will not experience the high prices or even the property market that is already maturing, like in the heart of city center of Subang Jaya, whereby if we can see sub-sale houses, there is already maturing. So they already have very good locations. So we can see commercial properties have already been built surrounding them. They already have the facilities, they already have the amenities provided by the local authorities, by the government, and then there is generally the aspect of livability, whereby most of the houses uh, for sub-sale residential areas there have already been taken up. So people are just waiting to see the right opportunity for investment or to purchase residential housing for their own use. Okay, so the disadvantage for sub-sale houses, we can see that, of course, like we said before, there is a lower loan margin that we can get, and the cost of maintenance for older buildings in the condition of post-pandemic. So existing homeowners right now, they are looking to get out of their mortgages in order to free up cash for the usage of their livelihood. We can see people nowadays, they they have this intangible asset, whereby the assets is part of their investment, and in times of dire needs, especially during pandemic, with the job layoff, with the reducing income, so people needed to get more cash. So we can see data from iproperty.com.my H1 2021. It is projected that actual selling price between asking price is 20 to 25% difference. So ensuring lower house price. So in this case, even the sub-sale market, the asking price, if you put in 500,000 ringgit, so the expectancy is that with 20% discount, you can get as much as 100,000 ringgit that you can save. So there is a very big difference. So as compared due to the previous market before the pandemic, so we can see that if people put up in the market 500,000 ringgit, so maybe they can go down further just a little bit, just 500,000 ringgit and becoming 490 or 480,000 ringgit. So because there is what we call urgency to sell. There is an urgency to sell. So people who is more fortunate with more and higher disposable incomes, so they can purchase a lot more. So they can purchase a lot more with higher buying power, and then of course they have the choices out there. So let's not be mistaken about the condition, the economic condition. So people are wanting to, like I said before, to free up money for their daily users. So as a property investor, so I can see that it's a very good situation actually. So if you have some save up deposits, you have more disposable income. So of course, you can transfer that kind of investment into properties. So especially for residential properties, which is houses. Yeah. The question is, the question that we would like to know. So is buying new houses or sub-sale houses is the best? Which one should you choose? So, in my opinion, this actually refers actually towards your own needs and preference. So, as we can see, like I said before, newer properties might suggest towards policies by the government that gives incentives, discounts, and stamp duty exemption. But like we said, like we always said, in real estate, location is a key factor. And for newer properties, newer houses, the location itself is not might not be as appealing as sub-sale houses, which is already in a maturing neighborhood. So we need to bear that in mind. So if you don't have the ability to commute longer, so you don't want to be stuck in traffic, you have to commute longer, and then you are willing to go further than your workplace. Let's say you are working in Subang Jaya, and then you take up some newer residential areas in Bandar Baru Sungai Buloh. So the longer traffic, the longer distance, but it is a new neighborhood, so it is an upcoming township. So that kind of situation we must think about always. But for sub-sale houses, of course, when they are in mature neighborhoods, they are in mature locations, they already have the facilities and amenities. You can go towards the commercial areas, and you can go to the shopping complexes. You already have the schools, you already have the fire stations, you have the universities nearby, everything. In my personal opinion is that if you wanted to take this opportunity, so maybe first of all, you need to look at the ability for you to service your loans. So as conventional financial institutions right now. Before the pandemic, they are offering up interest rates at 4.4%, 4.3%, 4.5%. But right now, after the pandemic, so they are lowering up their interest rates on financial loans. So you can see that you can receive 3.7, 3.5, 3.6% per annum, whereby it's going to significantly reduce the amount of installment that you need to pay every month. Nonetheless, if you wanted to take up the offer of the government for the incentives, so you still have some time. You still have some time to sign up the SMP. So it's because it's still being exempted until the 31st of December for the stamp duty exemptions and also for the discounts. So you have about 2 or 3 weeks time for new houses. But of course, for sub-sale houses, we are not incentivized by this, but we are just playing ourselves towards the current property market. So lastly, in summary, I wanted to say that good financing packages after pandemic, financial institutions offering interest rates as low as 3%, ringgit plus 2021 already have reported it, whereas the before pandemic is around 4 to 4.5%. So it's a definite value on monthly installments. So you just need to just figure out what is the current economic condition for our country, especially in the coming years, whereby if you take up the traditional financing, so if there is an increase, so of course we have to bear. But in general, we can see that it's a very good time to invest in property, because if you have a stable job, if you have a stable income, so of course buying a property for investment or even for your own usage is going to be very profitable in the future. Like myself, I personally likes what the government has given the incentive for new housing projects, and I personally has taken up some of a house using the using the incentives, meaning that I just bought a new house. But nonetheless, like I said before, it's up to your preference, it's up to your ability. Some of you might like it to live nearby city centers. You might like to commute a little bit shorter, so you don't want to fork out the money more on tolls, on the fuel, and also the kilometers. But the trade-off is that you maybe need to pay a little bit higher. So if in the sub-sale property market, you can get a very good deal. If let's say somebody who is very urgently needing to sell his or her own house, so you must ensure that the asking price is well within a reasonable range, because the asking prices asked by sellers sometimes they don't reflect towards the market value. In order for this, I think uh, for you to be certain is that to appoint a registered valuer or a valuation company to do a valuation on the prospective property, and then you can find out. So maybe it's not the asking price is 500,000 ringgit. So uh, doing the valuation, it indicates just the market value of around 450,000 ringgit. So actually, you are paying more than what is you are paying. You should be paying. But if the market value is being valued at 550,000 ringgit, and then the asking price is just 500,000 ringgit, then that kind of asking price is what we can say is a good deal for us. So eventually, it's up to us. It's up to us based on our needs, based on our wants, and also based on our ability to purchase. That will make the best deciding factor, especially during this after pandemic period. So nonetheless, housing, in summary, is just something that is still a basic need for everybody. So whether we like it or not, we still need a roof on top of our head. We still need walls for privacy. We still need a place for us to rest, for us to build our family. But in the end, whether the suitability, the suitability, if you're buying a secondary property, you have to pay a lot more. So you have to do a lot more maintenance as compared towards buying new houses. So it's up to you. So it's up to you. So I'm not going to say buying new houses is much better than buying sub-sale houses. So there is a advantage and disadvantage for every kind for these two types of houses. So buying a new house, there is definitely going to be some advantages added with the government policies and incentives is going to be sweetening the deal, and buying a sub-sale houses also is also can become a very good deal. So especially when you can found the house of your dreams, or if not the house of your dream, at least the house that provides the best value for money. So in all, there is a little bit on the coffee talk as provided by BumiPRO. And once again, my name is Muhammad Hilmi Masri, and I am the Vice President for BumiPRO. And I thank everybody who is willing to listen to this small coffee talk session with me. Okay, so with that, I hope we can see you all again, and I am wishing everybody a very good day ahead. Okay, so thank you very much. See you again.